Chapter 9. The Trump Card. Regrouping after enemy assault, the Flyers ready themselves. A bold plan is formed to destroy the superweapon. Facing their hardest missions so far, the heroines prepare to sortie, their spirits enforced. As I read this fic with the girls being awesome and kicking butt, all I can think of is that if I was reading, say, a certain crossover, or hell, reading a reality check fic, the girls would be sidelined and the men would do all the hard work. Well, the girls got to do nothing but stand around and be a bunch of dolls and look cute and do absolutely shit all and never have a cool moment, because why would we want a show featuring cool girls? Am I right, folks? I bet these guys would go crazy if they watched Gunbuster. February 7th, 2019. 07:45 hours. Caroline. A group of little fillies who were recently relocated from Ponyville were waiting in a room of a building that temporarily served as a school. They were clearly anxious. Even the cutie mark crusaders, 3 little ponies tied by friendship and the goal to finally earn their cutie marks, as being the only remaining blank flanks in Ponyville School. Apple Bloom and Sweet Belle were worried about their sisters, Applejack and Rarity. The former had returned to the front after a quick reconvalescence, and the latter didn't send a single word to Sweet Belle since the whole war started. She started telling herself it was due to Rarity's responsibilities, since he was also creating events for the Equestrian Allied Forces. It was probably very busy. Even Skidaloo, a filly who idolized Rainbow Dash and one who always kept the other Crusader spirits high, was visibly confused. Aside from them, Derpy's daughter, Dinky, was also deeply worried about her mother's safety, completely unaware that she was part of the Equestria's greatest flying team. The Kingmark Crusaders managed to befriend her easily and kept her company. Race's offense, all of a sudden changes they all went through, slightly hinted their maturity, as they were now helping other fillies getting accustomed to the new situation. Charlie, who was taking care of the entire group, was very grateful for their assistance. The teacher had just walked into a room that was made to resemble a class. All ponies stopped their conversations and focused on Charlie. She realized he had something important to say. "Good morning, my little ponies," she spoke with a tender voice. "Today, we're going to be having some special guests, so I'd like you to all get ready, as they should be here any minute. I believe you'll enjoy their company." Some curious whispers rolled along the class after Charlie finished. Applebloom asked us, "That's all pleasing us, Miss Charlie." "Forgive me, Applebloom, but I can't tell you. That would ruin the surprise." As the morning sun was slowly emerging from behind the horizon, Firefly and her friends from Mirage Squadron were about to reach their destination. The very same building was Cheerly and the village resided. The Pink Pegasus was feeling uncertain. "How did I get myself into this?" she asked Rainbow Dash. "There are more important things to do than playing with fillies. What if we get an assignment?" "Relax, Flash," Lightning Bolt spoke. "The meta-analysis are still working over the details of the burning talent data you gave to the princesses and Gale. If they learn anything, they'll let us know. We'll fly into the castle in no time," Clockkicker said in her statements. "Sometimes you should take that serious look off your face and smile a little, Firefly. I'm sure it'll make you feel better." Firefly didn't respond at first, but mentally heard her muttering. "That's easy for you to say." It was hard to blame for her attitude. Like other Pegasi, Firefly had a really rough life. The green Pegasus approached her and gave her a friendly grin. It somehow made the atmosphere feel less tense. Rainbow noticed the building they sought and started descending towards it, with others following her. Derpy wasn't showing it, but she was very delighted. So you finally see her daughter after weeks of uncertainty. Clockkicker noticed Charlie looking out the window, too. As the Pegasi landed before the entrance to the building, the cherry-colored mare went out to greet them. "Thank you so much for coming. The kids are waiting. Please, follow me." In the class, the fillies were still discussing and wondering who could be their special guests. Charlie then walked into the room and motioned the 7 fillies to follow her in. The kids watched them enter one by one. The Kingmark Crusaders were rejoiced to see familiar faces of Rainbow Dash, Fluttershy, and Derpy among them. Before Charlie could even get a chance to introduce the Flyers, Dinky suddenly jumped up from her chair and ran toward Derpy, shouting, "Mommy! Mommy!" until she was embraced by the Pegasus. Their eyes were filled with tears of joy. Derpy didn't want to let her daughter go. She waited for the time to stop, for the war to end. But he knew the moment was still away, and had to cherish this little respite to see her with her friends. Others looked with heartwarming smiles at them. He perfectly understood what these two ponies were going through. When their emotions cooled down a little, Charlie gave a proper introduction. My little ponies, I'm pleased to meet you with the Mirage Squadron, our aerial angels. These 7 Pegasi are putting up our best efforts to protect Equestria from the threat of Griffin invasion. By my request, they have agreed to spend some time with you. One each of the flyers presented themselves before the fillies. Rainbow Dash took point. Since we have some free time, let's get things straight. Kids got any questions? It was natural they had. Each filly asked several of them, and the Pegasi were more than pleased to answer. But the questions were not always easy. Some were asking if they'll be able to come back to Ponyville, or if this whole entire ordeal was just one crazy dream. 2 fillies were even worried about their parents, from whom they hadn't heard a word since they were relocated to Carolot. Both Medley and Fluttershy were assuring them that everything would be alright, even though it was hard for them to lie in the children's faces. They knew this war would not end anytime soon, and there was going to be many sacrifices. With clearly visible anxiety in their eyes, Applebloom and Sleebell were concerned about Applejack and Rarity, but Rainbow Dash assured them they were doing just fine. Applejack is back in top condition. I heard your team was conducting a special operation in Hoopitude's vicinity lately. That's very close to enemy positions, but they're doing a fine job. As for Rarity, Twilight told us to write her complaints about the uniform color and decided to repaint it from green to purple. Says it blends well with her mane. Little Pegasus remarked. This certainly eased the tension. Sleebell even laughed at its very typical of Rarity. Skulu was curious about Firefly, as he found her bearing striking resemblance to Rainbow. So he came closer to her and tried to talk. While instantly reluctant, Firefly actually opened up before Skulu, after several attempts from her side. You and Rainbow Dash have a lot in common, Miss Firefly. The pink Pegasus chuckled, knowing that it was the first time she was being called Mrs. in a long time, and asked Skulu to call her just by name. The two then engaged in conversation, and Firefly learned that the orange filly held deep respect for Rainbow Dash. She pointed out her strong points, loyalty to her wingmates, her determination and improbable flying skills. Skulu blandly admitted that she wanted to be like Rainbow one day, but Firefly told her that she shouldn't be thinking that way. Look, kid, every pony is special. There are no 2 ponies who are the same. It's good that you see Rainbow as an example to follow, but that's where you should stop. You need to create your own image. Otherwise, you'll only be in Rainbow's shadow. These words didn't put Skulu in a good mood at first, so Firefly followed up, adding, Who knows? Maybe one day you'll become just like her. You'll start your own legend, maybe bigger than Dash's. It's all within you, kid. Remember that. Firefly then started walking toward the others, when she heard Skulu whispering, Thanks. This made Firefly smile. Since the deaths of her parents, she slowly started feeling relief in her heart again. She looked at her wingmates, entertaining other fillies. Fluttershy was singing them a beautiful song. Rainbow Dash and Cloudkicker played with different group. Medley was telling some curious ponies about various beautiful sights she had laid her eyes upon since he had joined the squadron. This allowed her to go to places she'd never been to before. Firefly did notice Derpy on the side of everything, chatting with Dinky. So he approached him and heard the little unicorn speaking to Derpy. Mom, you were telling me you were part of a squadron. Well, I hadn't had a chance to tell you, Dinky. She let out an excusing laugh. Well, Firefly knew it would be best not to interrupt them, so he wanted to talk and let her emotions loose. Thankfully, Derpy was more than willing to speak with her, and she sent Dinky to play with the other fillies. You have a cheerful daughter, Ditsy, Firefly noted, forgetting to use Derpy's real name. She didn't seem to mind at all, though. She's in my entire world. I don't ever want to see her suffer again like on that fateful day. Firefly, can I have a request? Greenmere asked suddenly. A request? If we get a mister to take the burning talon down, can I be the one to destroy it? This question utterly surprised Firefly. When she asked for a reason behind her request, Derpy stated that this contraption reminded her what the Griffins planned to do with the fillies in the first few weeks of war. She hoped that she could destroy that super weapon. It would ease her pain. Firefly understood, but she tried to reason with her. We don't even have a plan to carry the operation out yet. Once that is made, we'll worry about getting to the burning talon and taking it down. Derpy was expecting that kind of answer. Still, she felt saddened as her ears flopped and she hanged her head down. Firefly thought of something, so he asked Derpy an unusual question. I was wondering, why are your eyes crossed? Don't you have a problem with that? The Grey Pegasus looked at Dinky, playing, laughing, and replied, It's true at times I feel a bit strange, but my eyes have always been like this, ever since Dinky appeared in my life. Maybe I had normal sight before, but I can't remember that. I got used to his situation as he doesn't seem to complain either. Okay, but I still don't get it. Can't you get eye surgery or something? Firefly insisted. No, it's best to keep it that way. But why? Derpy's eyes met Firefly as he spoke with a quiet but confident voice. One eye is to watch over my daughter and see her grow. The other is to protect Equestria from danger, ensure that Dinky can live with it. That's my resolve. Firefly didn't say anything to that, but quietly thought about what she just heard. Derpy's words were the embodiment of pure love and care, feelings that Firefly was denied when her parents died. Stubbornness awoke in her soul again when she imagined them. Derpy saw that Firefly was sad and offered her a comforting hug. The Pink Pegasus returned it. No pony seemed to have noticed it, though, but a bond of friendship was officially formed between the two mares. Time passed, and though the ponies had great fun and were no longer feeling worried, it all ended around 10 a.m. when Lightning Bolt received a call from Gale, requesting the appearance at Canterlot Castle. It seemed to be of utmost importance. The Pegasi were readying themselves to leave, with Rainbow Dash and Fireside promising the Key Marketers to remind Rarity and Applejack about them. When they were outside ready to fly, Cheerily and Dinky were seeing them off. The Unicorn Filly hugged Derpy again and seemed like she wanted to say, Take me with you, don't leave me again. The Grey Pegasus trying her best not to cry. She wanted to stay with Dinky and give her care, but there was a task ahead for her and friends. Don't be sad, Dinky. We'll come back and everything will be alright, she assured the little unicorn. Cheerily promised to look after the fillies as long as it would be necessary. Understanding there was no other way, Dinky waved at her mother sadly, holding tears. Applebloom, Sleepbell, and Skooloo came to see the Mirage Squadron off as well. As they were taken to the skies, the fillies started cheering for them. Medley didn't hear Cheerily exclaiming, May the sun and moon shine upon you, angels of Equestria. The fillies immediately caught that and began to chant, Angels, angels, as the Pegasi flew back to the castle. Fireside was really moved by that. The others felt the same way, but Firefly reminded them of an important mission that was about to fall on their shoulders. You know, it's actually a good thing you brought me here. I see now that life doesn't have to be the curves. It has to be straight paths. When we'll go to destroy the Burning Talon, we must do our very best. If it's to make sure those fillies will have the best future, we will succeed. Yeah! The Air Pegasi responded. As they were approaching the castle ready to land, Gale and the Wonderbolts were already waiting for them on the ground. 1200 hours. Canterlot Castle. Briefing room. Once every pony made their way to the room where Gale was about to begin the briefing, they heard from the Wonderbolts that the situation was growing tense. While the Burning Talon hadn't fired a single shot since Cloudsail was taken over, anxiety was still present in the ponies' hearts. It almost seemed that the Griffins decided a different psychological tactic. They were trying to defeat their opponents with fear. Constant turmoil and uncertainty would prove to be terminal for any hopes ending the conflict before destruction would spread to levels beyond their control. Gale called every pony to look at the giant screen, where details of the Burning Talon were being displayed. As the flyers were analyzing it, Gale began debriefing. Thanks to the data the Firefly managed to uncover, as well as the, pardon me for saying it, performance of the Burning Talon and Cloudsail, we've managed to turn some structural details about it. For the last few hours, our specialists over in the Department of Tactics were able to come up with a plausible method of attacking the superweapon. Ian, what did you learn? Rainbow Dash was more curious. Changing the screen on a projector, which was now showing the main structure that supported a giant cannon, Gale answered. As predictable as it may sound, the Burning Talon is hardly fortified. It consists of 4 facilities equipped with jamming devices, which are known to interfere with any kind of communications. These are surrounded with anti-air artillery units, set to automatically fire at any unit that will be identified as hostile. I guess it'll be those, Medley thought. Correct. These facilities and turrets surround the actual superweapon, which, besides the main cannon, is also supported by similar units, which fire short-distance laser beams. While they have nowhere near as much reach as the main laser, they can still cover the entire area around the Burning Talon. Every detail Gale kept bringing up made it only seem more certain that this mission would be extremely difficult. He reminded Pegasite that the main laser could fire 3 times in rapid succession before having to be cooled down. It also brought up a new detail that further analysis uncovered. It was possible for the burning talon to fire a single laser every 30 seconds, which greatly reduced the cooling process. The good thing about this alternate method of attacking was that its accuracy was severely reduced. It would need to lock on different targets in a quick succession. The Red Pegasus stated that it might be one of the keys to destroying the laser superweapon. He then got into the actual mission details. This operation will be referred to as Fire Extinguisher from now on. Gale suddenly paused, hearing Medley chuckling, but the Green Pegasus quickly became serious and knew it was no laughing matter. It shall be divided into 3, possibly 4 phases. Your first objective is to approach the burning talon without being detected by the enemy. To do this, you'll have to fly at very high or very low altitude. Exactly how high or low? Anyone asked. Either below 1200 or above 12,000. Going where any between these values will cause their radars to pick you up, and you'll be mincemeat. Gale replied. Cloudkicker's curiosity reached its peak, and asked Gale why the burning talon was assigned in the first place. Before the Red Pegasus could answer, Firefly spoke first. They thought they could keep it all hush-hush when they said it would be developed as a defense system, designated for reducing any possible threats of avalanches. You know, using lasers to reduce falling boulders and chunks of rocks into little bits. The Pegasus agreed that this reasoning was beyond ridiculous. Everybody knew there was much safer methods of providing an avalanche. One of them was to stay quiet, as Derby pointed out, causing the other parties to laugh. Gale carried on the briefing. If you'll manage to slip past their radars and make it to the burning talon, phase 2 of the operation will commence. Here, your job is to take out each of the jamming facilities. As long as they're operating, your communicators will be next to useless. Don't forget the anti-air turrets too. They need to be destroyed as well. Saying this, he displayed a picture of 4 facilities and their defenses. All of them appear to be made of unbreakable material. Spitfire pointed out it would be possible that she might be actual Griffin fighters stationed by the superweapon too. While none of the reports confirmed that, Gale decided to include them as a possible threat. It would be better for the Mirage Squadron to go and be prepared to face something more than just turrets and jamming facilities, rather than run into Griffins without knowing it. Fireside asked if they could count on any support, but the answer was not pleasant and only rose more doubt. The burning talon is operating around an area that is impossible for any pony who can't fly to reach it. I'm afraid ground support is out of the question. All these factors combined so far, and the possibility of additional enemy forces weren't making the mission look any easier. Soren took point. In light of this, we managed to round up 2 additional Pegasus squadrons that will cover your attack on the superweapon once you get there. Although considering the importance of the target to the enemy, I'm afraid there's no way to avoid casualties from the resistance. Especially some of them will be like those we fought at Cloudsdale. We'll have to make sure the casualties be minimal, Rainbow Dash promised. Gale didn't take the screen to explain Phase 3. This one was showing the structural data of the main tower, where the laser that fired at Cloudsdale was mounted. He explained that the only way to actually destroy the burning talon is to break into it, and attempt to bring down the generator at its power core. There was a problem, however. The main tower was made much more resistant material than the rest of the towers or jamming facilities, making even a single hole in it would require several focused attacks, before one after the other, or a big amount of physical strength. At this moment, the ponies were not in possession of any super weapon that could do enough damage to create an opening. However, Rainbow Dash had an idea, but Sadie will be needing the help of everybody else. I'm gonna try a sonic rain boom. The force of the blow should be powerful enough for me to make... Hold on, you can perform a sonic rain boom? Seriously? Firefly asked. Other ponies, as well as the Wonderbolts themselves, confirmed it. They told Firefly about the best fire competition that was held in Cloudsdale about 2 years ago. It was then that Rainbow Dash saved them in Rarity from falling to their doom with a sonic rain boom. A technique that many ponies believed to just be a legend, was at one time adopted as one of Rainbow's signature moves. Firefly even mentioned it wasn't the first sonic rain boom the Blue Pegasus performed, but wasn't dwelling too much into the details. She only remarked that it helped her and her friends earn their cutie marks in a way. Firefly was fully impressed. I guess there's more to you than meets the eye, huh, Rainbow Dash? She said, making Rainbow blush a little. But when asked about the details of the daring maneuver, she explained that there will actually be griffins waiting for them. ponies would have to keep them away from her, while she tried to experience at an extremely high altitude and descend as fast as she could. Hopefully, she could break the sound barrier before the move. While Gale pointed out it was very dangerous, Rainbow Dash reminded him he did have an alternate strategy, to which the Rainbow Pegasus fully agreed. Well, if the Sonic Rainbow will be successful, you'll manage to break inside the Burning Talon. That is when Phase 4 comes in. You'll have to find and shut down or destroy the 3 generators to power the super weapon. This will cause the main core to overheat and explode, destroying the Burning Talon. It should be enough to cripple the Griffin's long-range strike capabilities. If we succeed, it might actually become a turning point in the war. And if we fail? Lightning Bolt asked. We won't, Cloudkicker spoke. I know we won't fail. This is a mission we mustn't fail. This sense of kind of optimism was typical of the Purple Pegasus, but this time determination went on par with it. Seeing the moment she had with the Phillies this morning was still in her mind. Others also agreed with their job to be completed. When the Lightning Bolt decided to do a additional analysis, she discovered that the upper section of the main tower was apparently weaker than the other parts of the structure. Rainbow Dash to be assured that it would be vulnerable to the Sonic Rain Boom. Was to become a breakthrough moment in this operation. Gale concluded with a briefing, but before the Pegasi could leave the room, a pink Earth pony suddenly entered it. Fireside and Rainbow instantly recognized the filly as Pinkie Pie. She apologized for eavesdropping, but heard that the flyers were feeling a little blue, so she proposed to throw them a party in order to boost their confidence and spirits. Firefly smiled to herself, squeezing her eyes shut as she dragged her hook down her face. Girl, did you hit your head with ceiling with your head or something? A party before an assignment? That's the most ridiculous idea I've ever heard. Fireside and Rainbow Dash laughed, however. They knew Pinkie Pie well. They knew her parties had something special in them, so that it always made them feel better. Both mares agreed to her proposition, and the pink pony burst out of the room, shouting that the party will begin twice palace at 1500 hours, which gave the ponies about 2 hours to prepare for it. Waterbolts decided that they would like to attend the party as well, considering that they decided to aid the Mirage Squadron in the joint operation. While Firefly was still unsure, the rest of her team kept asking her to come with them, and she ultimately said yes. 2400 hours. Caroline Castle. Ballroom. Pinkie Pie managed to spread the news about the party throughout the city, rounded up pretty much every citizen who was willing to forget about the horrors of war and the uncertainty of tomorrow. Twilight Sparkle and Rarity even agreed to use their magic to illuminate the ballroom in hundreds of colorful lights, while Pinkie herself provided a majority of the musical factor. Equestria's best disc jockey, DJ Pone 3, was also invited, entertaining the guests with various jumpy tunes, with hits such as Equestria Girls or the famous Pony Polka. Applejack and Appleboom tried to convince some ponies to join them in Bobby for Apples, but aside from the other Cutie Marker Sayers and AJ's friends, there weren't many volunteers. Nora's pony was reminded of the Grand Gallery galas he attended with Twilight and the rest of the pack. What a disaster that it became. For them, however, it was an experience that was proved friends helped make everything more fun. The two princesses, Celestia and Luna, were often found speaking with various noble ponies, and from time to time, even had a small talk with Twilight and Spike, possibly to discuss some details about different operations. Rainbow Dash just wandered around the ballroom, joining up with a dance or two at one moment, then went to talk to her friends that she hadn't been seeing for some time. She also thanked Pinkie Pie for throwing out this party, and made her feel that, despite the ongoing conflict, the joy in the ponies' hearts did not die, but also went to a sort of a slumber. As it went on, the ponies finally started showing signs of happiness. Even the noble ones were no longer disgusted by some wild dances that Pinkie Pie and Cloudkicker were performing. Actually, it was one of my more tamer dances. They wouldn't let me perform the others. Cloudkicker! It seemed as if the time had slowed down just a bit. But Rainbow noticed Firefly was looking slightly annoyed by all this, and saw her leaving for an outside balcony. Before the Blue Pegasus followed her, she took a glimpse of Scootaloo showing her acrobatic tricks for a few spectators. When Rainbow found Firefly, she tried to speak to her, even though the pink mare wasn't very talkative at first. You know, maybe what Cloudkicker said about you was true. You should listen up a little. After all, it's a party. Every pony loves parties. It may sound like nonsense to you, Rainbow, but I'm afraid I forgot to have fun at parties, Firefly confessed. It's not that I don't appreciate it, it doesn't feel right for me. Rainbow got closer to her, saw her eyes gazing at the setting sun. The Blue Pegasus decided to try a different approach. I know you had a hard time, but if you keep on living by your past, you'll go nowhere. You have to look into the future. Remember those fillies today? Firefly looked at Rainbow. She knew what she meant. The Rainbow Pony continued. The short time we've had with them, and this party too, made me realize that, despite of all the difficulties and hindrances, nothing could bring our spirits down. It's like this horde somehow made them lie dormant in us, and you were waiting for a moment to awake. You know what I mean? Rainbow had feelings she was just talking random words. However, her doubts were erased by Firefly's smile. Yeah, I think I do. Times may be hard, but the happiness and optimism of ponies will never fade away. Yet, I fear I lost these feelings. I can't seem to regain them on my own. I may need some help in that. Rainbow Dash wrapped the left arm around Firefly's neck and said with a soothing voice, Those feelings never left you, Firefly. Like I said, you just need to awake them. At that point, they suddenly heard Pinkie Pie at the microphone. She was calling every pony to the main dance floor and asked Rainbow Dash, Fluttershy, and the other members of Mirage Squad to destroy her on the stage. Oh, side note, for those of you who have read Fall, this was my inspiration for the 2 ball scenes for Fall Starfleet, after the big adventures, where I had everybody dancing and some music playing. This was what inspired me to do it. While slightly confused, Rainbow and Firefly went inside. The Princess Celestia and Luna took care of assembling the crowd before the large stage, where a band of 3 ponies were preparing their instruments. Even though there were drums, they didn't have a drummer, so Spike decided to give it a try, to which the ponies agreed. Piggy decided to try to sing a new song she wrote just recently, with some help from the Combat Crusaders, who also joined the ponies on stage. There, Pinkie asked Rainbow and the others to help her performing it. Well, they had no idea what the song would be about, although Pinkie assured them that they'll know the second day you'll hear her sing the initial lyrics. She motioned to Twilight, Rarity, and Applejack to join in too. As DJ Pone 3 provided the beat, the band started playing a rousing melody of violins, guitars, and drums, which were occupied by Spike, Pinkie, and her friends. The Crusaders began to sing, Gotta stay fly, gotta stay strong. Aces ready all day long. Ain't no hiding from them in the big blue sky. This fire's coming from your left and right. Not just fighters, it's desire, like an eagle spinning fire. Turn around, my friends, behind you, teeth it down to the wire. Achieving every victory written down in history. This mission is the vision, so just listen. Gotta stay fly, gotta stay strong. Aces ready all day long. Gotta stay fly, gotta stay strong. Aces ready all day long. When the musicians went for a short instrumental break in between, Twilight and Applejack motioned Firefly and the other Pegasus to take over the singing. While the pink Pegasus was still looking puzzled about this musical number, her companions already knew what message they had to deliver to those who were listening. They already got used to the melody and were prepared to play their part. The band was about to carry on, playing the melody. DJ Pone 3 resumed a rousing beat. The Mirage Squadron began the second part. None of them had problems with singing, and without rehearsal, Pinkie and the others just stood in the rear, letting the Pegasi take center stage, and only coming out to join them during the refrain. Once we've been betrayed, there ain't no looking back. Getting ready for this raid, cause we are ready for our attack. Got the glory, got the guts. We ate up, straight up, dangerous, face to us. We got no aim on us. Once was a time, once there was a wall, but written in stone, walls were made to fall. Don't scratch all that harmony, they'll be laying a harmony here. Break all from here, now you gotta see. Gotta stay fly, gotta stay strong. Aces ready all day long. Gotta stay fly, gotta stay strong. Aces ready all day long. Fly, 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 fly. The entire ballroom was chanting with them during that last part, cheering on and encouraging the brave Pegasi to give their best in the upcoming mission. Violins joined up briefly with the melody, while Twilight, Sparkle, and Rarity provided a beautiful solo choir. The Wonderballs sang alongside the heroines too. Somehow we'll overcome, we'll be going home, riding through the flame. Got your colors showing so strong for so long, so strong for so long. I hope you people appreciate this rap. While the song was about to end, there was still one last number. Twilight and Rarity gave the crowd some more of their vocal beauty. Soon, Firefly finally realized what was going on. They were pouring the song to give ponies hope. She felt much better. Then, the rest of the band, except for the ponies who played on the guitars and Spike, stopped playing for a moment. Pinkie Pie and the Combat Crusaders joined Rainbow Dash, Fluttershy, Lightning Bolt, Cloud Kicker, Medley, Derpy, Firefly, and the Wonderbolts. Phew! For one final segment of the song. So strong for so long, so strong for so long, so strong for so long, so strong for so... Gotta stay fly, gotta stay fly, gotta stay fly, gotta stay fly. A thunderous applause roared through the ballroom as the band slowly hushed the song down. All ponies started cheering for the singers. The royal sisters looked at the performers, bowing before the crowd, and thanking each other for the musical number. Overjoyed by the words they had passed to and the others, their spirits certainly rose. It's just like you said, Tia. We can always find moments for joy, even in the most desperate of times. Your idea worked perfectly. I only proposed to Pinkie Pie. She carried out her duty even better than I helped, Celestia giggled. I'm so proud of them, Luna. I believe in them with all my heart, and know they will succeed. The older Pegasus added, embracing her sister. The night had allowed Firefly and her team to put their doubts to a side. While they knew every pony was counting on them, they had reasons not to fail. They would fight for the future of Equestria.